Before this episode starts, guys, just a quick one. The audio for the first 90 seconds is going to be a bit off. Just bear with it, and then it snaps back into just like this.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome back to The View from the Afternoon. I told you we'd be a bit more consistent. Matthew.
Here we are.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. It's quite sunny. I maybe should have worn some shades.
Oh, back to the first podcast, do you remember?
Is that what happened?
That was the perennial problem in the first podcast we did.
Yeah.
About my weight loss.
Great.
Which I feel like I've kept off.
Yeah.
And,
Still the most viewed podcast of all time.
He was constantly going, I'm really sorry, mate. The sun's in my eyes.
Really? Well, it's interesting that I've come up about the first podcast because I was just thinking then. Me and you did the first podcast on our own. And it was like, you come round and it's like, don't speak. Save all the conversation for when the camera's on. And we did speak quite a bit just then, but we still had to like rein ourselves in to be like, save it for when we're on air.
It's hard because when we see each other, the conversation just overflows out of the cup, man. It's like, there's so much to say, there's so much to do. And it, obviously we see each other an alright amount, but it's just like, it's like seeing an old friend again. You're like, just overflows.
That's what we are now, old friends.
We are. Some of us are. It's your birthday.
Tomorrow,
mate.
Yeah.
I've got you something coming for your birthday.
Oh, that's nice.
It didn't arrive, and I was away at the start. But yeah, it's coming. I know you will like. Well, I'm pretty sure.
Anything from you, mate, will be much obliged. I have a gift for you as well, but it's not it's not podcast appropriate.
Okay, we'll see.
So I thought it'd be nice for us to get some time. People, as usual, are saying, "Where's Briody?" And I think you've been quite about this year.
This year, I've tried more. The limitation. Everybody knows, just my job.
But I don't think you've been particularly rare this year.
No.
You've been in at least like maybe 3 of the vids.
Yeah, and I've got some more lined up.
Oh, a lot more lined up, yeah.
So it's...
But I was surprised when people were like, oh, we need... I mean, I'm not surprised that people are saying, oh, where's Briody? But like, they're acting like, at least on the Reddit and stuff, it's like you've been gone for like a year, like that time when we didn't see you for it. It's like, you've been in some of the...
I've been about, and we meet each other outside of the videos as well. Like me, you, Raz, Dan, just went to Scarborough for a day, didn't we? Went to the coast, that was lovely.
It wasn't lovely for me, mate.
I was laughing the other day.
Well, let's explain.
Yeah, so basically, as you know, I passed my driving test 4 months ago now. And then we went on our first like obligatory drive. We spend a lot of time in cars, or at least certainly we did coming up through our 20s. Probably 75 to 80% of our time was spent just driving around.
That's where we put our hours in.
So, it was a pleasure for me to finally be able to drive the crew somewhere. And it was just stressful as fuck, to be honest with you.
I don't think you realise how hard it is when there's like, well, you do, but like when there's 3 other guys in the car and they all want to go their own fucking way. They've all got their own idea of what they want to do. They're all like ready to pounce upon you the minute you make a mistake.
The thing for me was, so I'm like you and Raz are fantastic drivers, like decade of tenure each, like spent so long driving that like to me, you guys are like the kind of oracles when it comes to driving. But then like to be shouted like incorrect stuff at, like telling me like this guy's got right away when he doesn't. And then like being told off. I say told off, like it was obviously a joke, but like as still a new, I'm not really an anxious driver anymore, but like still like conscious that like I might make some mistakes. And then hearing the harping from the back of you and Raz, the mistake was sitting you and Raz together.
It was.
Next time we do that, one of you's up front with me.
I really quickly slipped into just being a backseat driver, and
which is normal because there will be like definite, like I'll have questions still. I still have questions, and I think that's natural, and I welcome that to a degree. But it's when you're wrong, then it's like, it is. Right, hang on a minute, what the fuck?
Because already, like time has passed so far since we like learned to drive. There will be new things that you know that me and Raz just don't know, and like we'll like always want to learn new stuff. Like I even learned the other day, a month or so ago, the right lane when you come to a mid-sized roundabout has an arrow for straight on. Now I just thought, that means you can go straight on. And if you're quicker with the guy on the left, who's also going straight on, you can just cut in front of him.
That's what I do.
Which I will do if I can. But then I watched a video and it was saying, no, the people that put the lines on and the highway code don't want to take responsibility for putting a right arrow on, because somebody will just come up to the roundabout and just turn right into oncoming traffic.
Like go around it backwards, like the wrong way.
So they put a straight on, but really they mean go right on that one.
Oh.
And I didn't realise that until I watched this video.
Well, I guess it's literal then, and it means go forwards,
Straight,
and then it's like a
right.
1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Like Bruce Lee's 1 inch.
The 1 inch of the Muhammad Ali.
1 inch Muhammad Ali punch.
It's the Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali 1 inch kick.
But yeah, that was good. And we do all the... So it was nice to go out.
Yeah, what were we driving? What was it? Was it the Volvo?
Was it an XC40 or something?
Yeah. I had that for like 4 days.
That was nice, that.
And that day I did just over 12 hours of driving. And
yeah, you
do you know what, mate? My arms were tingling.
Because you came straight to us after coming from Scotland, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Much like you've done today.
Literally today.
But we're not spending 5 hours in the evening driving.
No, you did smash that day driving.
I love it, mate. I absolutely fucking love driving.
Same.
And my relationship with my local enterprise rent-a-car is now slightly more. Yeah, it's repaired now, but we had a tumultuous time. If you've seen the Slam Dunk vlog or the Radio 1 Big Weekend vlog or whatever the fuck we call it, lost that key. Now, you know all about this. I don't have to explain it to you, but in short, had a Mazda CX-5, relatively nice, kind of mid-range like Mazda, and it had keyless start. So I was like, if you don't know, that's you just have the fob, and as long as the fob's on you in proximity of the car will start. And I drove it back to Enterprise Car Rental and could not find the key for love nor money. And then I turned the car off. I'd parked it up, thank God. Not the best parking job, but I'm still quite bad at that.
Better at parking.
I don't know about that. But I then went to start the car up again, and it just said no key. So it was embarrassing that more than anything, because I had to then go in, and I was kind of thinking, can I get away with like just not saying out?
Yeah, trying to get away.
They'll obviously be like,
first question, you
got the key?
Yeah.
But the first question was, how was everything for you? And I was like, yeah, just somewhat awkward is, I don't know where the key is. She's like, what do you mean? She didn't even know what the possible...
How could that happen?
Yeah, and I looked through the entire car, top to bottom. Honestly, I did, or at least I thought I did. I ran down to like the fucking... Because it was getting close to the closing time, so I had a little jog down to the garage where I'd just filled up. They must get a lot of business. The Shell, like right next to it, they must get a lot of business from Enterprise. But no key there. So I got fined it was 300 quid. But what I didn't take into account is you already pay a deposit as well. Yeah. Of 200 quid. So it was actually 500 quid.
That's why we're seeing that on their thing.
Oh, did that refund today?
It's coming back today.
Excellent. Yeah. So they found the key in the door.
Thank God, mate.
And I don't think they did.
What do you think they found?
So every one of those cars comes with a spare. I looked it up.
So do you think it was just a spare? But then how are they going to have that? Because why would they give away their spare?
But imagine I'm the driver of a car, right? Don't have to imagine anymore.
Yeah.
Where am I realistically able to put that key from my driver's seat?
In the centre console.
Centre console. Maybe in the glove box, if I was weird. In my pocket or in the door. So obviously I checked all those places. I had the car upside down.
But did it have one of those door card things? Like mine's got one where only half of it's exposed, and then the other half goes back under like a sealed section, so you can put, as Matt Watson does on Carwell,
the big full bottle of water
down in it.
I mean, it could be. It could be that.
Then when you accelerate, the key might move its way back under. But
that's a good point. Do you know what I'll do? I'll watch the Carwell on that vehicle, and I'll let you know next time.
The tip is, mate, just keep your key. I always keep mine back right pocket on its own, sealed. Never take it out unless like I'm changing at the end of the day and I want to put it back in like my bedside cabinet.
Is that where you keep it?
Yeah, everything in the bedside cabinet.
Got an air tag on it?
No, just because I think it ruins the look of it. So the VW key is quite sleek.
As a VW owner myself,
that's quite nice.
Let's have a look.
So I think like putting
listeners will love this. Oh, that is really smart, you know.
So it's a nice key.
It's almost like a luxury car key. It's beautiful.
You know, my dad's got a Ford that would be a caddy. a VW Caddy.
Yeah, the Transit Connect.
He's got the Transit Connect because obviously he's got a wheelchair that he needs to go in the back. He's just got the same key.
Just with the Ford badge.
on.
I was really disappointed when I learned that. I mean, I love Ford.
Because it's like a hybrid of mine and Ford. It's not quite like the GUI shit as well.
Thing is with the Volkswagen, like Volkswagen is quite clicky and Volkswagen people like Volkswagens and Volkswagen know that. And I'm surprised they would badge engine it because it's a Ford van, first and foremost.
Just give them to Ford.
But, yeah.
No, it's a Ford.
Ford, no, it is a Ford Transit Connect. And then Volkswagen they had some agreement with dealerships or something, or sales. I spoke to someone who works for Ford and I brought this up and they were kind of...
For VW, it just looks like their interior's inside. So when I get in, the only thing that resembles to mine a little bit is the interior. So like the dash.
Oh, well, maybe I've got that the wrong way around and maybe it's a Volkswagen first and foremost. Which would make more sense because that's a bit more of a slightly more premium brand.
Be like a VW.
Yeah.
That would surely be the core manufacturer's product.
Yeah.
Because that would be interacting with...
That's why when you buy a Bugatti Veyron, it's a Volkswagen Passat key. Yeah. It's the same, like...
Oh, have you watched that guy's video about the Phaeton?
Not yet, no.
He's so good, mate. I don't even know what he's called, but...
I wish there was an easy way to, like, swap your car every year for, like, another, like, old...
Like a PCP.
Shit. No, but
old
like...
car PCP.
But like, so I'd love, like, a Phaeton for a year. I'd love one of those old, like, Lexus saloons, like those second-gen Lexuses. But, like, you obviously always lose money buying cars like that. And I don't have any savings now after my repair, which I've still not paid for.
I can't wait to see your car, mate.
I want to go and get it, mate. And in theory, I can go and get it now. But I was in a bit of a spot where we're coming to the end of our tenancy here. And at the minute, my car's in the garage, but it's parked there for free. Do you know what I mean?
It's conveniently left there.
I can put it at Mary's for £150 a month.
Yeah.
My mum will have it at hers for free.
It's on the road.
Or on the grass.
Now the fence is blown down.
Fence is blown down. But I really obviously want to get a space here. Right. And I've only just renewed my tenancy today, which is great news for me and Dan. Thanks.
Another year here.
Yeah, I'd sign on for another 5, mate, if I could, honestly. But now I know that I can pursue a parking space here. Yeah. I'm more tempted to go and grab my car, but it's my birthday tomorrow. If it's a day like this tomorrow, I'd love to go and get it.
When does the garage shut?
It'd be like 5 o'clock. I need to text him. So I text the guy, get the guy's sound.
I could take you after this if you wanted.
I text him and I think it'll be closed, mate.
I know, that's the annoying thing. Then you could have it.
And then we
birthday.
can't drive it home.
Why not?
Together. That's what I'd like to do. I don't want to tail you.
That's all right. You can go in front if you want.
But
you can see the light bar and the LEDs and all the things you don't have.
I think I've got lights just about. But we'll talk about my car repairs in a sec. But what was I saying? Yeah, so I text the guy. I was like, I'll pick it up on Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then he didn't reply. And then I remembered that Monday was a bank holiday. So yesterday I was like, I'll just wait for him to, because I was quite anxious about it still. I was like, I'll just wait for him to say, come and get it, assuming it would have been yesterday, but it wasn't. And then today I've just been too busy with the edits and stuff.
Fair enough, mate.
Can't wait to get it though.
Yeah, I bet, mate, you'd be gassed when you get that. It's so sick.
So I got my bill through and it's astronomical, as you know.
Yeah.
I had to literally ask for an advance on my wage, didn't I? Which was kind of humbling because I had a certain amount saved up and I thought that's way more than I need. Yeah, and I was even planning on with what I had left over. I was actually...
You've got a nice to-do list, haven't you?
I was lightly planning to go away to Mexico at the end of the year.
Man, that'd be sick.
You know, for like £1,500 or however much that would cost. I know you've been to Mexico,
it's
but
beautiful,
you know, a personal holiday for the first time, to be honest, literally ever. I'm not hard done by, so don't feel sorry for me by any stretch. But you know, I was looking forward to that.
Away and not have to think about that.
So I thought I'd have £1,500 left over, and I actually had
was minus
about £1,000, just about to the pound, about £1,000 less than I needed. So I had to come to you, didn't I? Like fucking Oliver Twist,
like the old
and
days.
It was literally on my payday. Bridy is the one who pays me, if you don't know. I had to be like, please, sir.
Can I have some more?
And I got some more.
We managed to find it.
We managed to, yeah.
We got it all, collected it up, found it. So next video, it's going to be Monzo me. Rob again.
Yeah. I might set up the, buy me a coffee.
Well, I've seen them. Like a few years ago, the first person like I was watching was like, buy me a coffee. I was like, God, there's so many ways to do that now. It's like...
Well, like the Monzo thing was dumb, wasn't it?
It was funny.
Did you ever get one through? Explain what it is.
So we all had... Did we all take it in turns at some point?
We only got about
I think
3
there was
in.
2 of... There was one for you, wasn't there?
I don't think so, because I don't think I've ever received one.
I had one in New York.
So what is it?
So it was a joke where you could like send someone some money just from like a barcode or a QR code, wasn't it? And we had it on my Monzo, so I'd just bought the Palace top.
In New York.
2019.
And
I had it, and I was like, I want everyone to pay for this top, not thinking that anyone would send me any money. And people did pay for the top in the end. It was lovely. And it just isn't needed. Like, I don't need that money. But people were really kind. And every now and then I will get someone
like a quid coming through.
And it's hard.
Because that was what it was. It was like, send Briody a quid.
What did it start off with, that? Because it was some...
It was just...
Someone was out.
So we didn't...
Was it Dan? Help Dan out or something?
Maybe. I mean, Dan sounds like the type.
Was in financial terms.
But... Yeah, I mean, we didn't have a Patreon for a long time, which, saying that now, it's like, I mean, I sound like a broken record, but you know how important the Patreon is to
massively
to the business.
Literally helps us to everything. Built the microphone, or paid for the microphone that we're talking through now.
But literally everything that we would have sadly been paying for the deposit for the lost key, but I've got great news. We got it back.
Saved, so we'll do something else with that money.
But I remember being kind of, I mean, it's weird when you start off and you're really small, and you're a bit more like, foot the system. I didn't want to do a Patreon. I didn't want to do a sponsor ever. Aye. And then you just kind of get real.
I think it's hard because you just grow, and the things you want to do just naturally cost so much more money. And like, we look back at those videos, like the Europeans, the American trips, they were so good, but they were 90% self-funded by us four. Like, we paid, like, I remember...
I would say even more than 90%. To be fair,
the American ones at the start were 100%. I think the European ones after...
And let's just make it clear, like, that's what we expect. Like,
it was great.
We're not saying, like, oh, we had to pay for it. Like, the reward for us doing that and blowing all our fucking money on that stuff was that now we are in this position.
Yeah, it was sick, because, like, back then, the video wasn't an afterthought of doing the thing, but it was just sick to be like, I'm just going to go to America. Like, I still remember everything about the first place and the first time Raz messaged me. Like, I know exactly where I was in Wigan. Like, I was driving along, doing a job that was okay but not really great. And then I remember getting a text from Raz going, yo, can I speak to you? And I was like really nervous at that point.
Yeah, that's a bad message to receive.
And I was like, yeah. And he goes, do you want to come to America? We want to do 2 weeks in America. Rob signed on. Dan signed on. I think it'd be good if you came as well. And everybody got asked. And only 4 of us said yeah. And
I mean, that was not to sound too cliquey, but that kind of helped cement, like, okay, who's game for, like, because we weren't exactly young. We were still like mid-late 20s.
Yeah.
Who's game to still, like, fucking have some fun?
Yeah.
And,
Can we do it?
And who's willing to, like, spend their savings and their money? And we were the ones that were like...
Yeah, punched through our own glass ceilings to be like, let's go fucking... And they're still some of the best ever videos we've made.
I wish I had the fucking raw footage for them.
They were the best videos we've ever made.
I would love to do like an anniversary recut, like George Lucas Star Wars style, of like Route 66, and just polish it up a bit, render it in 4K, and add just the modern touches.
What happened to that footage? Just deleted because we didn't have the space?
Yeah, I mean, I deleted it off my phone because I didn't have the space. Dan deleted it off his phone because he didn't have the space. But now, obviously, we've learned, and we've got the 50 terabyte fucking NAS drive, and
all of us have some kind of iCloud link.
The thing is, like, we probably won't ever need any of this raw footage, because we'll never look back on something as fondly as Route 66, because that was like...
I hope we do eventually.
I mean, if there's any year that we will, it's this year, innit? We've got some mad shit coming up in the summer.
But
we need to plan it a bit more. I know we had a call about it.
yeah, we kind of got some stuff in.
Yeah,
but
we
not
need
really
to. I need. It's my response. I said I'd take ownership of that. I just haven't had time, but I do have.
I know how you feel, mate. It's busy.
Yeah,
Very busy, but yeah, there was, not to seem like woe is us, we paid for that, but it was just great doing that stuff and paying, and like nobody paid for anything back then, like as in like it was like fuck the system, we just want to do it ourselves. But as things just get more bigger and stronger, it's harder to get everybody in to do that.
Something that really cemented us four together, and this is like, Mary would be the same and stuff, but like something that we realised when us four were together is like, and actually when I think about it, like this is definitely not exclusive to just us, but it's something that I think is really important in a friendship is like, I'll buy something for everyone.
Yeah.
Like if we go to Starbucks, instead of doing, and this was like back in 2018, instead of buying like, I'm going to buy one latte, then you buy one latte, then Dan, I'll buy these lattes. There's an unspoken understanding that like, it might not be a latte tomorrow, but like this will come back round to me very quickly as well.
There's no point, and I get what you, like everybody does that now, but I think it was true that four kind of like created, like we've created like cultures within this stuff. That some are awful cultures that we've made.
Well, we've got out of
particularly us two.
We've got out
and
of a lot
we've tried
of them
to move
now.
out of it, but that is one of the most positive things. Like it's just like what's mine truly is yours.
But we'll never forget the time that a certain member of the crew,
and there's not just one person that's done that. There's other people that have had that behaviour.
Where we pulled up to a McDonald's and
God,
we were getting 3 McFlurries, and this unnamed person was really like against buying.
Yeah.
One of the McFlurries was for them, but like the thought of picking up 2 McFlurries for the other lads. And the dumb thing is like, this person wasn't like up against, the wall, like or on their ass, but being so unwilling to buy your mates a McFlurry each, like the fact we still talk about it now,
like
and this was
19 back then.
This was like so long ago. The fact we still talk about it really shows that like,
I'll never forget when they were like, I guess I'm going to get this one then, boys. And it was just like, oh.
Are you fucking having a laugh? Like, yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Like, not to sound ungrateful, but there's such an understanding of like, this will come right back to me.
Like, everybody's done it. Like, everybody's put so much effort in. Like, I don't remember once ever over like all the time having the focus ever being like, you owe me petrol money. Or you owe me and it was just unspoken. And I was completely happy at the time. I will just drive around, provide the petrol, provide the maintenance on the car, get my fair share of like food or drink, and it just didn't matter because like the brotherhood, so to speak, was just so strong that we were just having a great laugh. It felt amazing to be out with your mates, just in the car.
Those were the days, man. I mean, it's the days now as well, to be fair. Yeah,
it's been literally the best all the days times for are good. Over a decade now. Yeah. Like, they've been great.
We had some ups and downs and that, but
yeah.
Do you want to tell them about that fucking? Speaking of downs, tell them about you could take that as a joke, but it's not. But feel free. Tell them about Danny and the horn.
Oh mate, that was so funny.
This really pissed me off. But it would have been so funny if it was anyone else.
Rob's first time driving. He takes us to Scarborough, as we discussed. He's a little bit anxious. He's getting lectured by me and Raz in the back. Dan's having a good laugh. We go to see an infamous person's ex-house that was in Scarborough. I don't know. Can we say the name?
Yeah,
we can. Jimmy Savile's old flat.
For some reason, we decided let's drive past.
He was really keen to go see it.
I wasn't.
So we were like, okay, Rob, you're driving. We'll go. So we go up this like it's all right, mate. Scarborough suburb, yeah, and going up this hill, and just round the corner from Jimmy's old flat was this massive bus, like a coach, and it was letting all these old people off, and we're sat behind it for some reason. We can't get round it. It was a really small street. So funnily, Dan leans across and just blows the horn on Rob's hire car. And this man, the coach driver, is helping all these old ladies off. And he's just like, looks back to us and he's like, what do you want me to do? And obviously, it looks like such an aggressive
furious.
move from Rob to do that.
Especially because it was Dan as well,
so funny.
who can't drive.
It's funny.
It was more insulting.
Yeah, it's brilliant, man.
Oh,
One of the
it was
funniest
funny.
things we've done for a long time.
It was funny,
Like, a
but
nobody funny thing.
God, fuck me. Yeah, it took a year off my life that day.
That was
for
great.
Sure.
Yeah, it's stressful, man. That was funny.
Something interesting that I have learned about driving. I don't know if you get this, but so we went to Nando's like 2 months ago, probably now after I recently passed. And
the first time you ever drove with me?
Was it?
Yeah, you just rocked up at the house. No, that was the second time. Sorry, first time you just rocked up, which was a great surprise.
I wish I'd have had my car though.
Oh, I know, mate,
But we went to Nando's, and the Nando's experience was a bit shit. And I felt like responsible for, like, we've been to Nando's a million times. And sometimes it's been shit. But because I'd taken us, I felt personally responsible and the need to like apologize for like, and that was really strange. Very strange.
I don't think I've had that though, mate. Like maybe at the start I had that if the experience was bad or like if the chill was bad, it felt like it was on me because I was the driver and I was the one saying, let's maybe get those who cannot be named anymore, or let's get Raz.
Lord Voldemort.
Yeah, pretty much, mate. Done worse things, and apparently, allegedly, just to cover ourselves.
Yeah, you got to do that.
TV. And yeah, I can't remember what I was talking about now. And yeah, at the start, I felt like that, but I don't anymore. It's not it's their experience.
I mean, of course, it's not to do.
It's their experience. If they're not enjoying it, mate,
yeah.
they get the bus, innit? Foot patrol.
Got the bus at the weekend. The shuttle bus from Slam Dunk.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's
they
the
had
best
Leeds
way.
Fest on.
Yeah, they did. It's the best way to get in and out of Temple Newsam, you know.
Yeah,
and
it's a disaster.
It's so busy getting on the bus, they don't even check a wristband, so you just go on. I didn't pay.
Very good.
Free bus. Do you remember when we used to get the bus for cheap in 2008? When we used to just lie.
What, the 4-stop one?
Yeah, because it was 4 stops was £1, wasn't it?
Yeah, we used to have the little pass though, didn't we, mate? The college pass.
Yeah,
so they look sick, man.
So the college pass, the free college pass,
it was so rudimentary. It was just a laminated
piece of paper,
like green paper
with
your photo
on top. It was like it was like layer of lamination, layer of paper, the photo, and then another layer of lamination. It was
like that when you used to play rugby or football, I'm guessing as well. I remember we'd line up in like under 14s, and you would all have to stand, and your coach would be there, and the opposition's coach would be there, and he would have a book with everybody's, like, almost like a verification in it, and you would have to submit a photo and your date of birth.
What, to say that you're like physically fit?
No, like... to say you're of that age, because like you could have, obviously, at that age, people have gone through like puberty and oxology completely different. So like at
what's oxology?
Like has how you develop into
I've never heard
being
of that.
A teenager, and it's like so like a 14-year-old just out the same, 15-year-olds out the same. You can have a guy that looks like he's 18, and you can have a guy that looks like they're 12, and they're both 14.
Yeah.
So you would have to have this card verification to be like, yeah, he's the right age. He looks massive, but he's actually the right age.
Yeah.
But it was just like that, so rudimentary.
Yeah,
like
just a basic.
Your coach would have just laminated your picture on.
That's all.
That's what the bus pass was.
Yeah, so the bus pass was
free travel everywhere.
We essentially had it for 2 years.
Yeah, it was sick.
And it'd get you into Leeds City Centre from wherever you lived.
Yeah.
And out of Leeds City Centre from to wherever you needed to go. But the outbound journey had to be before midday. Oh, sorry, the inbound journey had to be before midday, and the return journey had to be after midday. And we had some college days where they'd end at 11, and the bus stop's right outside. So we used to just lie to the bus driver and say, just 4 stops, mate, and then pay £1.
And then go.
But the awkward thing was our stop was the final end of the line. So sometimes they would realise, like, hang on a minute.
Yeah,
you've just been fucking pulling my leg. But do you know what? We were meant to get it for free anyway as low income families.
So good.
Were they because we were low income families?
Yeah, it's because we were poor, mate.
higher paid families wouldn't have got that.
I don't think they would have.
It was like EMA.
There were some people that probably didn't get it, and yeah, we got it, and we got the £30, didn't we? That was sick as well, man.
Fucking big up the £30.
God, £30 back then as well, and that was like in the middle of a financial crisis. Like We left school back in 2008. The crisis happened. The government was still just handing out like.
Well, if you think like, so Mary's like what 4 or 5 years younger than us. Yeah. She's like the next school generation, or the previous, like the the one newer,
the one down.
And she didn't get EMA, and she had to pay $9,000 a year for a uni.
Well, I've got 1 year of $9,000.
Have you?
Yeah.
How come?
Well, I don't really have much left of it now, but it was the year where I did the computer science one, and I left, and then I did a year of
fitness at
physical education, as you can see.
Yeah.
A physical man.
Well, you knew about like oxology or
that's
whatever.
where I learnt that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the $9,000 one. But
yeah, I did 2 years each at like 3K, which was the going rate.
That seems more reasonable, doesn't it?
And do you know they had this thing where because I wanted to stay in higher education, I dropped out, and then I was like, I want to start again.
Yeah.
But student finance wouldn't sign off
from 4 years.
Well, they wouldn't. There was something where they would look after me. Aside from they wouldn't pay for another first year, so I could choose something where because my first year of computer science, you can kind of then go off to do like computer forensics, this, that, or the other. So if I would have wanted to do something that my first year could have been the first year of that I've already done, if that makes sense. But I wanted to do like music. So I'd have had to pay my own first year.
Because EMA only funds 4 years maximum of education.
Is that right?
Not EMA, the student loan company.
UCAS. That's not them.
Oh God,
UCAS is the points thing, innit?
Jesus. But yeah, you'd only get 4 years, or they would only fund 4 years. So that's why I was able to do another first year, because I had the other 3 years back. Whereas where you'd done 2, they would only give you another 2 years. Yeah. Which is why they'd say if you can find something after your first year that's transferable, you'll only get 2. God, yeah, back then, filling out the UCAS in school or college, I still remember like the thin red like lines on the website. It was a really shit one to use as well. Like,
how did UCAS points work? Is that because we did a BTEC, didn't we?
Yeah, we did a BTEC.
But
triple distinction, which was equivalent to 3 A's at A level.
Yeah. And what is it? So do you only get UCAS points with a BTEC?
No, I think you get them with everything.
And then your points determine what kind of bracket you're in for like university.
Yeah.
Fucking offers, I guess.
I guess so.
It's mad how long ago it was, man.
I reckon now it's all done on like some kind of crypto kind of thing.
Yeah, it's all on the blockchain.
Yeah, it's on the blockchain. It's what the pictures you own are worth.
Yeah.
Like that gets you in. It's like, oh yeah, I've got the shiny triple D now.
The shiny triple D.
Triple D shiny.
I've only got the DDM, mate.
Oh.
College was. I mean, we did a full podcast about college a couple of years ago. People are asking
for another one.
I mean, I would love to sit and talk about college. I actually was going to suggest we talk about college on this one, but
I was going to think that today while I was having a poo. I thought, should we talk about? But then I was like, I've not prepped enough to talk about from college, and there's some golden stories.
Oh, there really is.
Just like there was some golden nuggets leaving me, there were some golden stories that I need to think of for college.
I've started. This is a strange thing to say, but I've started shitting every day now.
Well done, mate. Welcome to the club.
Thank you. Yeah,
you'll be 2s up in a day soon.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
don't know about that.
Do you have it at a certain time?
Usually in like late morning.
Yes. Well, mine's a bit earlier.
Yeah.
Sometimes it catches me out as I'm on the way to a job that I need to do to that day. I'm like, shit.
You have to pull into the old services.
Oh, yeah, bloody hell, mate. Back then it was so different. Like even before we started this, we was on about the emails and like work back like right at the start. Yeah. And like how I had my job that I was at before, used to have to send like an end of day email. And
so were you like a junior manager of some kind?
Yeah. Do you remember getting excited about being like a manager or a key holder? I remember we would have chats where
we're talking a retail environment here.
Yeah, retail, where we were like, they're going to make me a key holder.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be able to cash up.
I'm going to have the responsibility of having the keys to the door of the shop with no extra money.
Yeah.
And it means I'm always on an open or a close.
It's just
because I've got the keys.
It's so naive looking back at it now.
Yeah, being able to cash up was like the gateway I wanted into like
that
if you were trusted to cash up.
Manager.
But I remember I was a key holder at Curry's because I was like an entry level manager at Curry's PC World, And like the amount of times I'd go down to work, fucking leave my keys at my mum's, and then like my mum's got to bring the keys down. And there was a lad who will remain nameless who used to wear his keys. He used to wear an LV wallet, you know, like he's a good guy. He used to wear an LV wallet like on his as his uniform, you know, one on the belt buckle.
Yeah.
And he had his keys on there as well. And then came in like one day and was like, "Oh, we got burgled," and they took the keys. So like, I'm certain that wasn't true, and the guy probably just lost the keys. As someone who misplaced the keys a lot,
as we found out,
yeah. So I had to get like full like locksmiths down to change the shutters on the shop.
We've got a different system at work, so we've got a color coded key system. So it's like red, blue, green, and white are the colored keys. All the spares are stored centrally in the facilities team, and if somebody within a store reports that they've lost a key, we go, no problem. What color was it? Your next colour is going to be yellow, so then we'll post out 4 yellow keys to the store. They then have to switch to using the yellow. They just put the same key in that yellow key in the barrel. The barrel then switches to the combination of the yellow keys.
Oh, that's
and
clever.
Wipes the blue one that was before previous.
Yeah.
So you can't use.
It's like a dynamic lock barrel then.
And we then just switch through them, and they have to just send the blue ones back. We'll destroy them. Yeah,
That's interesting.
It's different. Rather than getting someone out to change the locks.
The end of day emails, I had to do them.
Are you gonna find one?
When I worked at Curry's, and some spring to mind now. So for those of you that don't know, when you work in a retail environment, particularly a shit retail environment, you might be tasked with sending out emails to like your region or your regional manager to basically explain how your day's gone. And I'm sure I've still got some on here from my regional manager, because I mean, and this is how stupid this company Curry's was. They're all on my personal email. So instead of setting me up like a Curry's email, it was like, just add your Gmail to like the management mailing list, which is mental, innit? But there was one where like, so our regional manager at Curry's for CP17 in 2014 was a real dickhead. And it's not that like he was just a manager, an open manager. I didn't like him. I made him a cup of coffee once. He didn't even acknowledge me or say thank you. He was just known as a prick. And he emailed our store one time saying like, "Why have I not received an end of day report from you guys?" And my mate Adam had to send like, because you can't just be like, "What the fuck are you talking about, mate? Like, relax. You're gonna get the email. Like, you have to. I mean, well, in this case, Adam was a little suck up, and he said, "Hi, sorry for the late email. Just a polite reminder, we are open till 7 on Saturdays." So we hadn't even closed the door, and this regional manager had been chasing. And it was just so, he was like such a prick.
Look at one here, man. We got one here. So we'd have to like, I'm sure people still have to do this, and you're probably in a shit situation like where you was, where you've got to like justify like
why you've underperformed,
why you've had a bad day.
Yeah.
And it's just micromanaged, so like you cannot afford to have a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do, they want to know like your actions. So we must have had a bad day on this one here, and it's not me, and it's someone that are named nameless. So today, ! It has been a game of catch-up.
This is someone sending a...
This is a manager sending this to the regional manager with all the other key holders and managers on
like
it.
CC'd,
so everybody that was managing that shift is on
now has accountability for the day.
Yeah. So today, it has been a game of catch-up. I arrived in store at 11:45 to the diary already being 1 hour behind and only £64 in the till. This is the main factor in a week cash figure, 0.3. 3 appointments cancelled. I don't know what he means by this is the main factor in a week. A week cash figure, as in you've not took that much money in the day. 3 appointments cancelled due to the time, and 2 from walkers were running out of time. Managed to recover it well during the day in my eyes. Once I got hold on the diary, spoke to this person on handovers, took 3 or 4, but I think we are there on the lifestyle questions.
What's the lifestyle questions?
So within the industry that I was retailing in, it was really important during the customer's visit that you understand, or the professional understands, why that person has visited your store, and also what they do in their life. Pretty much just getting their information so you can tailor your sales pitch to them later on. To say, like, you do this, so we will then be able to pitch this product to you that fits in information you've already given us, unrelated.
Got it.
Kind of like a shit way of probably how big companies do it. Positives, strong second pair. Negatives, the customer journey again was poor, but actions are in place to bring this up. Will in turn improve the CER and DER. Just bollocks. And the regional replies, what put the diary behind? Was it Jiraiya again? With like a really angry face on it. It's like, how can you send that to people's personal? And how dare that manager at the start, with all the other managers that would have been in the morning, and were probably understaffed, going, it's been a game of catch-up. I arrived at 11:45.
Yeah, like it's...
So thought out, because his shift was started at 12. Or their shift was started at 12. But to put like 11:45, just bore off, mate. Like, you don't need to have that information on.
It's, I mean, there's one here, and we won't just read emails because I know that can be quite boring, but there's one here from my regional manager into our store. And so this was in 2015. It just says, I'm livid, and I mean livid. Performance so far needs a reset, blah, blah, blah. Biggest issue is, so this is this guy. So he has rang every store. No, he has gone online and reserved a laptop in every Curry store in his region.
God.
And he said, I have not had one phone call, not one call to tell me, hello, mister, have you reserved a laptop? Because what he wants you to do is start upselling people before they even come into the shop.
Yeah.
But I do have a funny story about this certain regional.
Give us the loop.
So this guy is obviously probably a decent hard manager. You know, I'm sure he's half decent at his job. In a company that rewards like shitty management.
Micromanagement.
Yeah. But this really this stuck with me until this day. He sent an email out so I was the most junior type of manager you could be. There's like
Key holder.
There's like sales assistant and then like me.
Yeah.
And then another 2 levels of manager and store manager. So just for reference, so there was a lot of people and a lot of low roles, if you know, to be disrespectful, but that's what I was. And we got an email from this regional manager, all of us that was on this mailing list, and he had sent something that he meant to send to like his manager, and it was the full regional store manager reviews. So everyone, junior manager, like senior sales assistant and up, on the region could see this.
Mate.
So it had every store manager's name, every store manager's current salary. Bear in mind, all these store managers are on this, so they can see who's earning what. Their review, how much turnover the store is, and what this regional manager thought the next steps for this person were. Some stuff was good, and some stuff was like struggling in this store, perhaps needs moving to assistant manager or smaller store.
That's catastrophic.
I think sackable.
That is 100% out the door.
I would never do anything to disrupt someone's job. I think that's the worst thing that you could do.
Yeah.
But this was insane. And I didn't do anything about this, of course. I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
You know.
You heard about that information that had been put on there, didn't you?
Well, I received it.
Yeah.
But.
Well, the store received it.
No, me.
Oh,
this is what I'm saying. So it went to.
So it wasn't just to the store.
No. It was to every single key holder on the market, mate.
How did he attach all that?
I guess he maybe sent something out each day. And this was just one document. I've still got the document.
So,
just in case.
How did he? So he must have grouped all them emails under a group email.
Yeah, I mean,
and then he must have
have
typed
done
that group email in and sent it.
So it
Can
went.
you see everybody else's emails on the region?
Yeah, so
data protection issue.
No,
as
so
well
what
as
it
the
so what it
obvious.
did was it went to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It went to 20 stores,
So it went to the store email.
but the store email then automatically filters down to any key holder's personal. So that would have gone to my Curry store, which then came through to
that
robkellis1
makes
at
more sense
gmail.com.
because then he could just type area. What was it? CP17.
CP17.
And that would bring up all like
Yeah.
the store.124 at Curry's
Absolutely.
PC.
Absolutely.
Oh, that is so bad. That is sackable.
I certainly think so.
You imagine someone else getting your info.
And he's not, the only reason I'm comfortable saying this is because he's not with that business anymore.
God help the business he's with.
I know, right? Fucking hell. But let me see if I can find it, because I definitely saved it, because I'd just like to just read out some kind of...
It's good. I went through my email. When was it? Like this week? And I found like our old slides from like Q2.
Oh, like our business.
That was on, through the business emails. And it was like the old slides were on there. The photograph when I emailed it to Tim Cook.
Emails are terrible photograph.
He loved it.
Emails are one of those things where you never really look back on them. So when you do, it's like, oh, these are
treasure
actually
trove.
some cool kind of
These are
of
nice.
email. Right, so I got the document here, and I won't name any individuals, of course, but I'll just read through some light kind of detail just so you can see.
There?
No, because I'm not a store manager.
Oh, so it's only SM.
So it went. Oh no, it went to store manager and assistant manager. It went to everyone, but it had that detail.
Damn.
So one here you can see an assistant manager. He's named. He's got like some of his personal details.
Jesus.
He's on 24 grand, and it says at his level in his store, which means he's not exceeding, but he's doing fine.
Yeah, he's a C.
Let's find a bigger one here.
God.
So one here says currently under investigation for this person who's on 28 grand, and it's like that shouldn't be the detail
That is so
for
crazy,
all these stores.
That is madness. And what? So what happened to them? Just slap on the wrist?
So I don't think anything happened.
Oh,
But here's the funniest thing. So he sent an email after that to my store manager, who was a good dude. Or I think he rang him, and he was like, how can I unsend an email?
Oh.
And my store manager was like, you can't unsend an email. So he sent a follow-up email, and I don't have it, but I still remember it. He sent a follow-up email, and it was like, team. And honestly, I'm not joking. It was like, this is a test of your integrity.
Oh, don't turn it on me.
Do not open this
Preview.
document.
Oh.
This was an accident, and it was not intended for the eyes of anyone on this list.
Oh, man.
Have integrity and do not open this. Now, this will have been one of 20 emails I got a day, but seeing this email, I was like, oh, what's he on about? So I went straight to the email on my phone, see what it is, and immediately saved that document so that now 10 years later,
That is so bad.
it's terrible, in it. It is absolutely terrible.
That is calamity.
So there's a dude here who was the general manager of one of the Bradford stores.
Yeah.
And
oh no,
everyone now knows he was on 45 grand. And everyone now knows he's been given 2 months to fix performance. He's had a very poor peak season.
Oh. What was peak? Christmas?
Yeah. Like the 2 months around that.
God, that is so embarrassing.
And yeah, I mean, the thing is with this guy is everyone sucked up to him. Like when I moved to Apple, mate, regional managers there were called market leaders, right? They use nicer language in Apple. And again, I'll not say any names just because they've not signed up for that, but I'll certainly remember the name of our market leader. And he would come into the store. He would remember the staff members' names.
Yeah,
he would walk past me, and he would remember a short interaction we'd have had a month ago and ask me a follow-up about that. Everyone loved him. Super nice, super charismatic. Yeah. And I'm sure when he got down to like a one-to-one with the store manager, then I mean our store did really, really well. But I'm sure he was a
really
great
good on
like
accessories.
I'm sure he was a really good like results driver. But I just couldn't believe that like it was possible to have a positive relationship with a regional manager.
Yeah, it's just a change on the perspective or perceptive that you put on it is just so different.
This guy was
the focus
such
is
a
just
prick.
something else. It's like it's not sales. It's like
It's just look after the people.
build the house properly, and it will withstand whatever you throw at it.
Absolutely.
Whether they're thinking, how can I make this house withstand everything, and then going backwards. It's just putting that like because you're his customer, and like the big thing with Apple has always been like, from what I've seen, even from like the early days of Steve, is like the customer, their decision is first on everything, and you're his customer.
Yeah.
You doing well means
that's
as a business,
a result for him.
Yeah. So it's
But he couldn't have been more loved, that guy, and he's I believe he's still with the business in a different area now. But the guy that replaced him, just as nice, and it's like fucking hell. It's mental, but there's so much that I would love to say about Curry's and have no fear of doing, but I want to do it on a podcast, and I don't want it to. I want to do like a specific podcast about it because I mean that was an awful environment to work in.
Yeah, there's some places that just aren't nice. Like I've been with my employer for a long time, and they're pretty good to be fair. But even within there, there's some stories of like, good God, how does that happen within that? Or how are they allowed to do stuff like that? And now you work for a brilliant employer.
I sure do, mate. I get an advance on my pay.
They look after you, mate.
They do.
Send you all around the world for
They
a
do.
charge.
Do you know what, mate? You won't catch me moaning.
Do a colleague Your Voice survey, NPS for the colleagues. How well was your
Who's
managers?
my HR representative?
Me, mate.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Payroll,
I think you might be biased.
Operations.
I think you might be a bit biased.
Finance.
I love the idea of like me and you in an HR meeting, like, but we've just been chatting about it on Messenger like 10 minutes before.
Just use that as evidence.
I remember having my meeting where I got sacked at game. You ever been in like you never been sacked or anything?
I've never been sacked, but I've been through 3 consultations about losing my job. I've been sacked. I haven't been sacked, but I nearly was from TK Maxx.
Why?
So I used to work at TK Maxx and was really part-time while I was at like college. And there was one particular manager back there who, she was just like a young lass that had just moved up. And I was like 17, 18 at this point, and they were like 22, 23, and they were just trying to move themselves along. And I was all right shit back then. Like,
really?
Yeah, because I just didn't
You surprised me, mate. That's not like you.
I just didn't care at all. I was usually on the fitting rooms, so I would just go off into a fitting room, do press-ups, come back out. Like, you had to do silly stuff, mate. Like when people would come, you could have a maximum of 6 items.
In the fitting room.
And there was like a T-bar that you had to stand at the gate to the fitting room. And they want you to then, when they come, the loss prevention team would then be like, put your items on the left-hand side to the customer. And then I'll take one and I'll like check the tag, put it over, check the tag. And then I could give them 6 and give them. So the people would try and steal from the fitting room. And it was all about trying to prevent people stealing, tearing tags off, breaking tags, ticket labels off. But yeah, so I was there, and this particular day I was doing something called scamping, which is where you go around with a digital device and you scan all the barcodes of this product in a certain area. And the way TK Maxx works is...
What's the point of that? To do like a stock take?
No, so for this, with TK Maxx, they will reduce the price of something based upon the amount of time it's been within the store.
Okay.
So everything will have its own generic code.
Yeah.
Which is created, and it's got like department, area, then its little code, its price, and above the barcode it'll have a number which is the week it came into the store. So after, I think it's about 13 weeks, you will scan all the items because everything's muddled up.
Yeah.
So say in particular, this day I was doing kids' shoes.
Right.
They're all muddled up. You just go through, scan them all, and then the machine will be like, yeah, that's been here long enough now. Reduce the price. A little red label will print out.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And you'll stick that over the price and the barcode, and then it moves to the reduced area. So I wasn't just doing the kids on that particular day. I could not be arsed. It was like 1, 2, miss a few.
Yeah.
Just scanning. And then at the end of the day, or the end of that morning shift, the manager, I go upstairs, hand me thing back, and she's like, Matt, the compliance for that area is 40% odd. As in, like, we've only found 40% of the stuff that should have been reduced. Why is that? I was like, I don't really know. Like, end of my shift anyway. I've got to go now. It's 11:30. And she
That's quite late.
Well, it was 7:30 to 11:30 in the morning.
Oh, in the morning?
Yeah, so 7:30 to 11:30.
And those 4 hours there.
Yeah, and fucking hell. And she was just like, yeah, it's like, I was like, oh, well, it's 11:30. I've got to go now. I'm coded out. And she's like, well, I'm going to have to get someone else to redo that. I don't think that's good enough. Can I have a chat with you? So next to like this manager's room where all the managers sit was another manager's office. So we go and sit in there, and it's just me and her, like, and just starts asking me all these questions about how I was scamping. And then at the end she goes, there's also been some rumours that you said I didn't get the job in the big Leeds TK Maxx because I'm not a good manager. And she starts crying.
You're kidding?
And it's just me and her in this meeting.
That's so unprofessional.
And she starts crying, and she's angry with like crying, and she's like, how dare you say that?
Did you say that?
I don't think, completely honest, I don't think I said it exactly like that. I think there was like, as in these stores, as there's rumours going around, she's applied for this job. And I may have said, in all honesty, like, I'm not surprised she didn't get it. She wasn't that good, to be fair. Like, now looking at it as what a manager, she was shite. And she was like crying and like was breaking. She's like, that's it. I think your time's done in this store. And I was like, okay.
Yeah,
so,
it has. It's 11:30. I've got to go.
Yeah, I should have gone 5-10 minutes ago. And then I remember like coming out of the office, and the old manager, a man called Graham, he was so good, man. He was sound. Like, he was the reason I went back and worked on my Wednesday and Sunday day off extra at TK Maxx when I already had a full-time job. Because I was like, I really want to learn how this man manages, because he's so good.
It's good that. I like that.
Like, he was exceptional. I remember coming out. And
it's like, because we've spent a lot of time in retail in the past, like he
was so good.
It is almost like an art form. I truly love like retail, good retail management, retail systems, digging into like, I have a real love for retail that's done right.
There's the regional managers that are very performative. They do everything by the book. But I feel like, and then there's the bad ones, but I feel like there's a really thin, narrow corridor where, and it's like the golden area where a really good manager can work down, and they're a bit of both. And you really like, and he was one of them where he could tell you to like fuck off and be like, hurry the fuck up, but you would just work hard for him because he was so good. And I remember coming out of that meeting, and he was like, literally came out and he'd not even seen it. He's like, oh, Matt, do you want overtime?
Yes, please.
I was like, yeah, I'll take overtime. And then this Sophie who'd been sobbing comes out as well. And he's like, oh, what's wrong with you? Like, it was just all like, she's literally, the pine thing she said is, I think your time at this store's come to an end. And I come out and he
Graham
straight
was
away,
a
he's like,
senior.
He was the store manager.
Oh, you're laughing then, aren't you?
And he was great. Like, he was so good. And I remember it was just one of them environments, TK Maxx, where it's like, you could see your dreams would die within that store. Like, anything.
That's what Curry's was like.
And I could see my dreams would die, and I just needed to get out. So I just gave my notice one day without having another job. And I was like, I'll just find a job. And I just gave my notice and left. And I have got some great stories now thinking about TK Maxx. Some really, we'll save them and we'll do them all on one together.
I could talk about retail and stories like that all the time.
Honestly, the ones at TK Maxx is such a different kind of store to anywhere else though.
They're in hot water at the minute because they're selling counterfeit. So they've been caught out for selling like literally like fake, like CP company and stuff. Yeah,
they've had that.
Mental.
And they just get away with it. It's such a big business, mate. Like, it's known as TJX Europe.
It's one of my least favourite shops is TK Maxx.
It's a lottery. It's just a lottery. Like I think mostly women just absolutely love it because it's a lottery, and you can just find something that you will not find anywhere else. Like, I just think it's a glorified jumble sale.
I mean, that is what
literally
it is.
It's a jumble sale. Like, you'll go in, you've got to go in with the thing of, I don't know what I'm gonna buy. Like, there's nothing I specifically want, and you've just got to find it.
I remember there was when I worked at Game, this must have been maybe 2012. There was I'd seen in a TK Maxx a black Ralph Lauren V-neck jumper with a red little horse on it.
Yeah.
Classic, like, and it was 40 quid. I think the retail on that was maybe 70. And I went back and forth like 3 times to look at it.
Yeah, I've done that.
Tried it on. Can I afford the 40? And I bought it. And it was my prized possession. And I'd wear it whenever I thought I kind of... Back when, like, going out into town now, you sling a fucking denim jacket on and wear your trainers. Like, you wear something nice, but, like, not... You look like a weirdo if you're, like, dressing, like, kind of pseudo-smart. But back then, like, it was the norm to, like, put a jumper on or polo. And I used a few
nice Fred Perry's, man.
I love the Fred Perry's,
Black and yellow.
Yeah, I mean...
He was proud in that.
Not allowed to wear that anymore.
Really
as we've learned, you can be too proud in that now. But I... and I wore this is how backwards things were then. I wore this Fred Perry black jumper with a button up underneath to my first ever Biffy Clyro gig, right? Because that was like a big deal. And there's like a photo of me at this Biffy gig wearing this stupid, and it was, bless me, it was my fucking pride and joy, this thing, because it was a brand, and I didn't have any brands, mate. I had like an Adidas Star Wars track jacket, which is currently on my Depop, and
God, I remember that Star Wars one.
And
you had the matching
Adidas Superstars as well.
I remember.
And I had the branded trainers and stuff, but like everything else that I rocked was just Primark. And to have like a Ralph Lauren,
it's mad back then how broke we were. Like,
well, we're from low income households.
Yeah, but just surprised. Like, our parents did literally everything they could.
I'm so glad of it.
They did a great job.
I'm so glad.
Same, mate. I won't change it for anything.
And I want to be, in the next few years, I want us to be doing well enough that like we can look after our parents, or parent in my case.
Yeah. It's
because I think that, I'm so grateful when I hear these stories of like some people that did grow up with quite a lot and get looked after significantly, even at an older age, by the parents. Which I would do if I was a parent and I had a kid of any age, and I would want to look after it. But kids. I think the experience of like, we weren't exactly in the slums, but like it was kind of gritty where we came from.
It was hard shit. Like we was on rough council estates.
It's so valuable, that life experience, to me.
Just to be street smart,
and you can tell someone that's not from your similar background, like after a couple of lines of conversation.
With this. I might have said this story already.
All right.
So when I went to the Uni of Leeds, I did my computer science degree. Obviously, it's a Russell Group uni, so quite a lot of rich people come to that university. It's quite a high one, like good one. And I was doing a core course, computer science, and I remember speaking to a girl there, and she was like, "Oh, where are you from?" I was like, "Oh, I'm from an estate on Leeds, like just outside Leeds." She was like, "Oh, an estate? Has your family owned it for a while?" And I was like, I was like really naive back then. I was like 18. I was like, "Well, we've lived there for maybe about 5-6 years, but then my mum and dad had a business and they lost that business and we had to move then." She was like, "Oh, so you're relatively new to this estate?" I was thinking like, an estate? And I was like, it's a council estate. And she goes, "Oh." She thought it was like a royal, like an estate, like Harewood House.
Like
and I was like, wow, this is a completely different person. Never spoke to her again after that. She was after a man with an estate.
Yeah.
I was a man.
Yeah, it's a Volvo estate.
God, like... And then I was going to finish uni and go back and play football on the street. She thought I owned the whole estate. I couldn't believe it. Like, but yeah, that was the difference in some people's bringing. But we didn't really have many designer things. I still don't.
I mean, I
mean, torn joggers and an Isle of Man t-shirt that a kind viewer sent me.
I've got loads of shit, but I've wasted all my entire money for the last 10 years on it. Do you know what I mean?
There's no hype
do you know what
anymore.
it is for me with like? So I've got a lot of Supreme North Face coats. Like that's my
they were your babies,
man. My guilty pleasure. And the reason for that is because when I first discovered Supreme, and in particular the Supreme North Face, I had so little that like I remember trying to finance a standard off the shelf North Face coat and being declined. And I wanted this stuff so bad, and even though like it's not super desirable to have these rare North Faces anymore, they'll always be, to me, a real sign of like I've achieved something, no one else needs to give a fuck about them, and believe me, they don't. But I'll still keep buying the old ones from back then because I remember that feeling of seeing them on the screen and just coveting that soot, which is
it was
a sin.
A great time, that one, man. I will always treasure the fur North Face that we've got.
Yeah, they're
Unfortunately,
deadly.
that was
them.
worn by Bocker.
From
he's got a weird
from
case.
OVO.
He's so we can't really. I'll still wear it.
I want to get. I mean, I've got a list of Supreme North Faces I still need to get, and there's maybe only about 5 left that I feel I really want.
The prices are low right now.
I've got about 32, and I need about 5. I say I need. There's 5 more on my hit list, and one of them is the red version of that big fur one.
The red one's nice, mate. I've seen when it was obviously. I think you sent
because yours was actually a bargain, if I remember correctly.
Like $550, I think.
Oh, maybe not then. Maybe that's quite. Mine was about $550.
Oh, was it? Well, I had $550 made. Maybe it was a bit less. But
maybe. Yeah, but it's just about like the thing is with those as well is people will. Some of them were very expensive, right? I'm not going to pretend they weren't, but most of them were just mid-expensive or like. Used all my month's disposable income but didn't cost thousands of pounds, but what's misleading is like some people will watch a video where I'm wearing like a certain North Face coat and they'll Google it and the first thing that comes up is StockX, which is like the most overinflated,
4 times more than what you'll actually get for
so
it.
It looks like, you know, there's been comments before, it's like Rob's wearing a $2,000 jacket. It's like, well, I'm really not. It wasn't pocket change, but it certainly was nowhere near $2,000. But you know, I'll let him believe that. Makes me look a bit more well off.
Going back to college, and I've never worn it. Like the first item that I got was really desirable was a Lyle and Scott waterproof jacket.
I used to really like Lyle and Scott.
It only had buttons on it, and it was like this grey colour. And I remember it was like £100, and I'd never bought anything of value like that. Like I remember my mum would have got a certain amount of money each month for us. And she would take us to the White Rose Centre and we'd go in like Jack Jones or Jack and Jones or like places like, and buy like tops that were just quite generic.
Yeah.
This was the first thing I remember like saving a bit of my EMA and then waiting for the Christmas bonus of £100 to come in. And we would walk past this shoe on the way home down to get the number 2 through the Victoria Arcade at the bottom. It's not there now. It's actually quite a nice shop now. But and I remember seeing this jacket for like 4 or 5 months. And it was like a huge thing to buy this £100.
That's great, man.
And I've never worn it.
You still got it?
Still got it.
I'd like to see that.
I've never, ever worn it because I was so scared of knocking it against something and a little grey mark going on it and it not being like perfect. And with some stuff, I'm still like that. Like we were literally just having the Mac. So fortunate enough, the channel got me a Mac to use on my work.
To do all your channel work on. Like,
literally.
It's like saying like, oh, thank God I've got... The channel bought me a laptop to edit videos on. It's a necessity.
It's like a pride and joy, mate. Like
it's
I still keep that in the box that it comes
in.
Because it's just like I value having them nice things so much because we never had it.
That is so important. That is like the difference of like that is a MacBook Air, mid to entry level MacBook Air, but like we both see so much value in that. Like we were both just before shooting, we were like, God, that's so nice.
Yeah,
because.
Fortunate.
That was only a dream at one point.
Yeah, it was.
But then I would serve people at Apple whose parents are buying them MacBook Airs to go to you. And fair enough, like absolutely fair enough.
There's no wrong here. You're right on both sides.
Yeah, but like just coming from the such opposite of that, it is nice.
It's eye-opening sometimes seeing it, innit? It is eye-opening thinking, God, you understand why people are so different and how you can accept like people are different because the way that person's grown up to the way you may have grown up, completely different. And it's fine.
Well, we've covered a lot of topics there. We've had a broad catch up, which is what I wanted this to be really, because people have been asking after you. So good to catch up as always. Thanks so much for coming. I know you've had a long drive up down from Scotland.
It's lovely, man. I love Scotland.
Same.
I love it. But yeah, no, it's good, mate. And I hope you have a lovely birthday as well.
I will do, mate. I will do.
Very, very nice birthday. And when I get your present, I'll bring it.
So kind of you.
I'll bring it. Hopefully you like it.
I'm sure I will, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.